I'm not nice, and I don't seek to be respectable. I'm not asking y'all for anything. Y'all can't and won't be both my savior and my oppressor. I don't want reform. I want to turn this building into luxury, low-cost housing. These will make some really nice apartments to me. Firstly, stop using black children as photo opportunities, because they're cute now, but in 10 years, they're black male suspects in red shirts and khaki shorts. Eating cookies and drinking milk with children does not absolve you of your complicity in their oppression and denigration, Frank Smith. Because Kansas City will spend more on police than education and then try to encourage children to feast with their oppressors. Y'all are really weird. It's asinine to be called radical or homegrown terrorists for not wanting government employees to kill citizens in any instance. So I'm not here begging anything of soulless white folks and self-preserving black folks. You get one life, and you all in this room have chosen profits over people, and that's pathetic. So I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes reading y'all for a fill, something I'm sure nobody has ever done. Nathan, the gentleman in the vomit-colored men's warehouse suit in desperate need of coffee and a haircut, a former FBI agent who exudes white privilege and is the epitome of mediocrity, and who loves Trump so much that he hired his former attorney general at his firm. And it's so sweet because he spent most of this meeting looking away with his head in his hands. Or Mark, Pastor Mark of Victorious Life Church on 34th and Paseo, where the mission is to provide a place and opportunity to worship Jesus Christ and preach a message of hope and faith through God's holy word in the building. Meanwhile, he's subjecting black people to terrorism and un-Christ-like behavior at the hands of KCPD outside the building. And Kathy, Miss I'll get here before the other commission members, so I look as if I have empathy and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Meanwhile, I didn't have anything else to do at 8 o'clock in the morning but be rich and white and retired, so I'm here early. Or Don, owner of Wagner Investments, Blue Notes LLC, and part owner of the Royals, another rich and white and disconnected and out of touch person with nothing but pure apathy seeping through the bulging veins of your paper-colored skin. You age like trash when you're racist and subject others to violence. And David, you don't get a vote, but it'd be a shame if your really progressive students at UNKC Block School of Management knew you were a cop lover in 2020. I don't think they would be a huge fan of that in 2020. In 1960 maybe, but this is 2020. And Q, had I not spent the entirety of the last 6 months dragging you, I would have more to say, but I don't. And Rick, I won't even begin with you, because I don't care enough about you to start, but you will have to spend overtime in the chapel at the end of your life. You have blood on your hands, and while these idiots hold you on a pedestal, God does not honor injustice and murder. Anyways, I'll leave you soulless, profit-driven, avaricious, greedy, God-forsaken humans, including anyone who works in this building, with one Bible verse from the Bible, detailing the life of Jesus Christ, who was another unarmed black man murdered by authorities, in the book you hellbound people claim to love so much. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? You're really funny. Keep.
Give me your first, last name, and how do you spell it, ma'am?
KJX.
And we have never had this many people on
Well, the group was at the detention center. You said you saw an arrest that happened outside here.
Okay, everyone on team red, if you have your
I coordinated with someone who was going to stay behind so that they could text me updates. And 5 minutes up into us walking up the street, they texted me and said that the police were trying to arrest them and removing the wooden monument out here. And when I came back, I went live as I was coming back here, and a young man was sitting right there, and police picked him up and arrested him for literally sitting on their property, on public property, on government property. So that's a blatant violation of civil rights. It's literal. And they're up there now, and it's kind of discombobulating me. but it's just asinine that there are people literally dying, literally being murdered by the police, and they care more about wooden boards than they do about human lives. So that's a real testament to America and to the policing system in general. So I have no further comment. I'm just, like I said, fuck 12. I'm sorry for the viewers if the kids watching. Fuck 12. You need to know this if you're a 5-year-old child, because when you grow up, you will be a grown adult and they will murder you for no reason in your bed.
The decision of Breonna Taylor's case is what drew you out here.
Yes, but we are exemplifying and uplifting Ryan Stokes, who was murdered in 2013, Terrence Bridges, who was murdered in 2019, Cameron Lamb, who was murdered December 3rd, 2019, and Donnie Sanders, who was murdered on the same day as Breonna Taylor, March 13th, 2020. So we are out here for Breonna Taylor and our local victims of Kansas City Police Department's violence and brutality against black and brown people in Kansas City.
When the decision came down from the grand jury this afternoon, what was your reaction initially?
I was expecting more, seeing as though the outcry of support and frustration and anger after Breonna Taylor was so great. There was literally precincts burning. There were millions of people internationally marching. So I expected a little more, but yet again, we are still in America where it doesn't matter how many people cry for justice. When white people are in positions of power, it doesn't matter. Quentin Lucas is in a position of power. He does nothing. He does nothing to remove Chief Smith. So it doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what I believe, because that's not the reality, and I should have prepared myself for that, but it honestly took me for a loop, because you think you murder someone in your bed, you go to jail, but it doesn't work like that when it's a black woman and a white man doing it.
From your perspective, how have these protests evolved since when you first gathered on the plaza to what it is now?
As far as evolved, we're very more politically educated. We know statutes. I know all the name of the police board of commissioners. I know where they work. Nathan, on the police board, the former president of the police board of commissions, he hired Trump's former attorney general in his firm. It's so much you learn when you actually do research. So as far as research, we've definitely evolved with understanding the political process more and understanding how to obtain information. But as far as numbers, we have declined in numbers, but we've inclined in our mission and our vision, and we're all solidified in Kansas City. We have a strong intergenerational coalition of the NAACP, the SCLC, the Urban League, and the various protest groups, and we're all out here. So it's just a real testament to the growth that we've had. Although it's less people, we're more educated, and we're out here for longer.
The fact that you're willing to get arrested about this, is that how passionate you feel about this cause?
I would get arrested for it every day if I could. There are lives, I'll take a ride in a paddy wagon and 20 hours in a cell if it means preventing someone from dying. I can come out of jail. People can't come back from dying. So while they think that we're so afraid and, we're just so lawless, we just are uncivil, no, what's uncivil is murdering civilians and not being held accountable for it. I can't go out in the street and just murder people. But me, I know good and damn well they would never hire me. But the average Joe off the street with no understanding of people, of mental illnesses, of the systems that cause houselessness, can go and join a police force and go out in the community that they don't understand. These white officers don't understand people in Kansas City. They don't understand the plight, but they understand the violence that they claim is so prominent here, which it definitely manifests itself in different ways.
Is there a way to make them understand?
No, there's no way. We tried talking to Rick Smith. We tried talking to Mayor Lucas. We all had a meeting with Mayor Lucas earlier in the summer, which we didn't allow him to publicize because it was mostly us asking him questions in which he was denouncing Operation Legend that he requested, which we have video of and will be releasing. So no, there's no conversations that need to be held. They understand what they've done to the black community in America. They understand how people east of truth make $17,000 and people west make $171, and they do nothing about it. They understand the school system where kids don't have books on one side and the others do. So they know exactly what's going on and they do nothing about it. So I want no conversations. Fuck Rick Smith. Go to hell. You deserve nothing but hell for what you've done. 3 black men in a 2-year span. You have hell waiting for you at the end of your life. And no further comment.